The story of a 15-year-old boy from Pune who allegedly jumped from the 14th floor is a worrying testament to exactly this problem. So we're going to go a little deeper into this story for a second and just share the details with you. This is a story that comes in from Pimpri Chinchwad. It's an area near Pune. You have a 15-year-old boy who, allegedly influenced by the online game, this is a game called XD, he died by alleged suicide after jumping from the 14th floor. Now, one of the sketches depicted his room, the building. The room had the word jump written at the balcony's location from where the boy actually jumped. The note mentions the last task as log out, perhaps stating the task of actually killing oneself. So a lot of disturbing details coming forward. So while investigation is still on, his notebook has revealed maps of his own house, notes in coding language, and a list of other players as well. A paper recovered from his room mentioned multiple combat games and also showed a pencil sketch of his apartment and gallery, specifically where he jumped from. Now, Arya's parents have admitted that the boy was addicted to gaming, and it was all a phenomena of just 6 months, where he would lock himself in a room and perform weird tasks. Now, the incident has reignited discussions around video games, but this kind of video game in particular. Remember the Blue Whale? We talked about that a few years ago a lot in the media. An online game, remember, which had also been called a suicide game. It caused a stir in 2016. It was a social media phenomenon. It targeted youngsters. It created a cult of sorts almost by assigning them a series of tasks over a span of 50 days and ultimately provoking them to die by suicide as a part of this final task. So on the show today, let's try and arm you with ways in which you can watch out for these new age issues our kids might be facing. Something a lot of parents also won't understand most of the times and may not be equipped at dealing with as well. Now joining us now is Riddhi Doshi Patel. She's a child psychologist, mental health practitioner, and we want to, Riddhi, sort of pick your brains a little bit this morning to try and understand what are the symptoms one can sort of watch out for. Now, this is not just about online gaming addiction. This is about an extreme situation or getting hooked to a game where you lose all sense of rationale and end up losing your life with it. So in situations like these, early on signs, can you point those out that parents, those around you can watch out for?
Absolutely. So it's important for every parent to understand that teenagers or young adults who are suffering from any psychological condition, including one that is major in these days is where they are not accepted or their feelings are not acknowledged at home front, seem to be very, very easy target for such games or such their games. Now, if you see your child locked in a room for many hours, if you see any pattern change, especially the sleeping pattern or the eating patterns, if you see that the child is not sharing anything with you, not connecting much with you as the way he or she used to do it before, probably you see a change in the way the child reacts to what you speak, how you speak, avoids meeting people, and if you see that they are not much interested in anything except their games and the computers, ensure that you put your antennas on and start talking to your child. These are some of the signs which you need to understand as a parent that they are not usual ones.
Riddhi, tell us, in a lot of the cases where situations like this take place, there's already a trust deficit that exists between you and your child. That's actually something that, has probably happened over the last few years. That's why, they may be hiding information for you. For example, they might be locking themselves in their room for hours. So how do you start rebuilding that relationship in a deeper sense too?
The most important here is that the parents do meet the child, sit with the child, admit that they have lost time, but they can always restart. It is important that they don't restart by constantly monitoring, constantly asking questions, kind of hovering over the child, but it's important that they start with baby steps. just like keeping breakfast ready with small notes, or trying to make their day special just to get into that good space again, and then start initiating conversations. Also, the most important here is that instead of tagging constantly the child about the things the child has been doing, you will never be able to have in the good space of the child. Hence, it's important that you take small steps, baby steps. Try and understand first, take month or half to understand the pattern of the child. Once you are okay with that, once you are understanding that, maybe you can go and take a professional help to understand how to start communicating with your child. But ensure that you don't barge in immediately in their personal space, but you take some time to understand the pattern and go slow.
Right. So, Riddhi, help me understand this. We are talking about this issue at a time when online gaming is a full-fledged profession. Not very long ago, on the program only, we had a full discussion on gaming. The Prime Minister has acknowledged it. We are talking about how young boys from tier 2 cities have made a living for themselves and their families thanks to gaming. So, what differentiates this extreme sort of death traps being set by these games from the ones which could actually be productive, could be a career?
Absolutely. So, first of all, it is important for the parent to help the child understand the responsibilities associated with usage of screen, usage of or investing time in online gaming. Cyberbullying is extremely high these days. Hence, it is important for the child to have boundaries. That gaming is just to a particular level, but if somebody tries to enter your personal space by asking you personal information, your numbers, your addresses, or something about your family, your personal choices, that's a boundary a child needs to have, and the parent is the one who needs to help the child understand. If the parent is not equipped with it, the parent can always take a professional appointment and ask the child to tag along with him or her and meet the professional. Secondly, the children, again I'm repeating, the children who are not getting space at home to share or whose feelings are acknowledged are the ones who seek external validation, are the ones who will try and meet people online even if they don't know, but somebody who is just trying to acknowledge their looks, their feelings, their emotions, that what they are doing in their daily life is something good. When some external validations or validators are there in life, it is something which the parents should be really, be mindful about and beware. This is not a healthy sign. Hence, it's important that you start giving that space at home front to your child. Start acknowledging, start talking how the day has been. If you notice any change in the child's schedule, please talk it out to your child exactly as the way you will talk to your friend about your child's concerns. Instead of talking to your friend, talk to your child that I'm noticing this, I'm feeling this. Can we just talk about it? This is more simpler than just going online or getting your answers.
Tell us, Doctor, tell us a little bit more about building that relationship once again with your child. Often kids have their guards up around their parents. It's a cultivated thing that you've cultivated over years. A young child is often cultivated over years. They've realized, I can't tell my parents certain things, I can tell them certain things. And this is just one more roadblock in that larger journey. So just tell us, what are steps? You said right now, take our time, leave notes for your kids. But often a lot of that, especially for teenage kids, doesn't resonate. It doesn't hit home. You know, they're dealing with their own emotional issues, social media issues. Today, bullying is happening online, as you said, and offline. So when you can't make that connection through love or through kindness, what are other routes to go about it?
We start with the word can't. So the children feel that they can't share with their parents because in the past, when they tried sharing, either they were judged or they had some severe reactions from the parents' side. Hence, first the parents need to understand that what are their triggers when in a particular way their child is behaving or the particular way the child is sharing. But keeping aside that, their own understanding, their own triggers, it is important that they start noticing their children, they start talking to their children. Again, making the child feel more involved within the family structure or making them feel more responsible is the first thing you can start as a parent. Maybe if you're planning a small picnic or a tour, involve your child in doing all that stuff. If you're getting any changes in the drawing room or in the house, involve your child. That's how you start making your child involved within the family structure. You start making him feel responsible. You also start making him feel that yes, you are important. Your suggestions and your ideas are welcomed. That's how you start. Probably start having one family.
Riddhi, I'm interrupting because we're running out of time, but I have to ask you this one question.
Yes,
These
please.
days on OTT, you have a lot of these so-called death games. From Squid Games to an entire series, it's a genre now. How much of an impact do you think they make on the mind? And would you then suggest that kids and mostly even adults be kept away from online watching like this?
There are certain apps being used to monitor by the parents, and the parents should be monitoring the hours and the games that the child is playing. If the parents see that they are playing or they are part of some games which are not so convincing or not so appreciated, it's important that the parent talk it out. It is important that the parent take professional help and ask the child to, along with the parent, the child and the parent just can go and meet a professional to understand that what is the repercussions associated by playing such games. Again, the children who are easy targets to these games are the ones who doesn't have space at home. So it's important that the child is acknowledged at home. Hence, they can be, stopped from going and playing such games. Important that you monitor as well and talk it out. What is cyberbullying? What are the repercussions? How does this games work? Because children sometimes don't understand the end goals of such games. They don't understand where they are led to. So as a parent, if you are aware, just talk it out. It's important.
Yeah, I was actually talking more about viewing of this kind of content which is everywhere online, and that could be a trigger somewhere, but perhaps we'll take that question later. Thanks so much for joining us with all those details. That was Riddhi Doshi Patel, a child psychologist and mental health practitioner.